So once again, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for being here. It's a tough day. Been a tough weekend. Israel is under attack. Iran fired upwards of 170 drones, more than 30 cruise missiles, and over 120 ballistic missiles toward our great friend and our major non-NATO ally and the lone democracy in the region on Saturday. Congress must show the world Israel has the right to defend itself. America fully stands behind the Israeli people and will not hesitate to provide them with the latitude and tools that Israel needs to repel yet another threat to their very existence. H-Res 1143 denounces Iran's brazen and unprecedented act of aggression and ensures that the House's position on this is crystal clear. We cannot afford to miss this opportunity to show the world that we unequivocally condemn Saturday's unconscionable act of escalation. The House must also confront a disturbing reality. Without unequivocal support for Israel, President Biden has appeased Iran and put us on a trajectory to this dark hour. Less than a year after Hamas brutally murdered more than 1,000 Israelis and took hundreds of hostages, including American citizens, on October 7th, President Biden, number one, signaled his willingness to break with Prime Minister Netanyahu on a hot mic on the House floor, and two, issued a press release calling for an immediate, one-sided ceasefire in Gaza, and three, failed to use our veto as a member of the United Nations Security Council to stop an anti-Israeli ceasefire resolution. For decades, America's ironclad backing of the Jewish state was a bedrock of security. But now, unfortunately, thanks to vacillation, that bedrock is shattered, and Iran was emboldened to directly attack Israel from its own territory for the very first time. The president also has a long history of appeasing Iran with sanctions relief, unlocking funds for the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. In November 2023 alone, this administration reissued a sanctions waiver, most recently renewed last month, that gave Iran access to more than $10 billion. H.R. 5947 will rescind certain waivers and licenses the White House could use to circumvent the will of Congress on this matter and the matter of the $6 billion in sanctions relief for hostage negotiations in September of 2023. H.R. 6323, the Iran Counterintelligence Act, prevents President Biden from continuing this trend of financial appeasement by requiring Iran to have ceased support for acts of international terror as a prerequisite for the administration to waive secondary sanctions. This bill also provides for a congressional review process for national security interest waivers of these sanctions. Additionally, H.R. 4691, the Iranian Sanctions Relief Review Act, will ensure that the President submits any sanctions relief relating to Iran for congressional review. The legislation would provide a backstop if the executive branch attempts to evade the legal requirements for congressional review of any requirement related to Iran's nuclear program contained in the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act. Iran is not alone in its assault on our steadfast ally. The Houthi movement is one of the Ayatollah's valued terror partners and joined this weekend's air assault, launching several drones with intent to harm Israel. For months, they have also been harassing international shipping and American assets in the region. President Trump had the good sense to designate them as a terrorist organization in 2021. President Biden's State Department recklessly rescinded this designation during his first week in office, only to embarrassingly reverse course this year. H.R. 6046, the Standing Against Houthi Aggression Act, provides a more comprehensive foreign terrorist organization designation. I certainly look forward to joining my colleagues in supporting these efforts to back Israel, to condemn Iran and its terrorist proxies, and stop the White House campaign of appeasement. Finally, we will consider H.R. 4639. The Fourth Amendment is Not for Sale Act. This prevents law enforcement and intelligence agencies from buying Americans' personal data from third-party brokers. I look forward to hearing the perspectives of colleagues on the Judiciary Committee on this important issue of data privacy. I'm now pleased to yield to our ranking member, Mr. McGovern, for any comments he wishes.